You are not bound by the past, not by your family's mistakes, not by their choices, not by the legacy they left you. It's time to release yourself from the chains that were never yours to carry. The past is a place of reflection, not a place of residence. The stories of those who came before you are valuable only when viewed through the lens of wisdom, not when they are allowed to define your future. In every family, there are unseen forces that shape the dynamic, often in ways that trap you, that limit you. The old patterns, the generational habits, the inherited beliefs, they are all invisible threads tying you to a legacy you never chose. They can shape your perceptions of yourself, of the world, and of what is possible. But you are not a prisoner of this inheritance. You are the sovereign of your own destiny. You can choose how to respond to the past, but more importantly, you can choose how to move forward. There's a deep truth here, one that most people avoid facing. You can't change your family. You can't rewrite the history of who they are, of what they've done, of the values they instilled in you, whether consciously or unconsciously. But you can change how you respond to them. You can change how their behavior, their expectations, their judgments, and their beliefs affect you. You are not bound to live within the limitations they set for you. You are not required to live out their fears, their regrets, or their failed dreams. Carl Jung understood the power of the unconscious show. Deeply rooted patterns are passed down from generation to generation. And he also understood that the only way to break free from those patterns was to bring them into the light of awareness. You must see them for what they are: old, worn-out stories that no longer serve you. You are not required to repeat them. You are not required to remain bound to their weight. But to free yourself, you must first recognize what has been passed down to you. The stories you've been told, the beliefs you've inherited, how often have they been the foundation for your own fears, your own limitations? How often have they shaped the way you see yourself in relation to the world? You are more than just a product of those stories. You are a being capable of rewriting the narrative, capable of standing up to the patterns of your family's past and saying, this stops here. What if you stop blaming your family for the struggles you face? What if you stopped waiting for them to change? What if instead you chose to change your response? Because the truth is, they are not the ones holding you back. It is your reaction to them that holds the power to either break you or free you. Think about the person who has hurt you the most, the one whose actions have shaped so much of your life story. What if, instead of holding on to that hurt, you chose to respond differently? What if you saw that person not as the source of your pain, but as the catalyst for your growth? It's not easy. It's not comfortable. But it is possible, because your response to their behavior, your ability to forgive, to let go, to choose your own path is what holds the true power. There's a revolution that happens when you realize that your family does not define you. You begin to see that their judgments, their criticisms, their expectations are simply their own projections. They were shaped by their own experiences, their own fears, and their own limitations. And when you begin to respond to them not as the victim, but as the creator of your own experience, everything shifts. You are not obligated to carry their burdens. You are not obligated to repeat their mistakes. But to do this, you must first take responsibility for your own reaction. You must reclaim your power. You must stop giving away your strength to the things that have happened in the past. Your family's actions, however painful, are not your fault. But how you respond to them, the decisions you make in light of those actions, are entirely yours to choose. This is where real freedom lies. It's in the ability to choose a new response, a new story, a new way forward. It's in the realization that while you can't control what others do, you have the power to decide how you react. This power is not small. It's transformative. It changes the very nature of your relationships, not by trying to change the other person, but by changing yourself. You don't need to fight against the past. You don't need to argue with your family about who they are or what they did. You don't need to seek validation or approval from them. What you need is to set boundaries. Boundaries that honor your own growth, your own evolution. Boundaries that say, I choose to love you, but I also choose to love myself more. These boundaries are not walls. They are the framework that allows you to engage with your family from a place of power, not fear. They allow you to interact with them without losing your sense of self, without being dragged back into the old patterns that no longer serve you. And as you begin to reshape your responses, you will see that your family's hold on you begins to loosen. You begin to respond, not out of old emotion or fear, but out of a place of clarity, compassion, and strength. You no longer react in the same ways. You no longer feel trapped. And in this newfound space, you are free to create the life you were meant to live. This is not about rejecting your family. It's not about abandoning them or cutting them out. It's about redefining your relationship with them. It's about taking responsibility for your own growth, your own happiness, and your own healing. It's about saying, I will no longer be defined by the stories of the past. I will define my future, and I will live it on my own terms. And this is the most powerful transformation you will ever experience. The moment you stop allowing your family's past to dictate your future. The moment you stop giving them the power to shape your response. The moment you take ownership of your own life and say, this is who I am, and I choose to rise above what came before. You are not bound to the past. You are not bound by the actions of others. You are bound only by the choices you make. And today you have the power to choose freedom. You have the power to choose how you respond to those who have shaped your world, to create your own response, your own reality. Because at the end of the day, you are the author of your own story. And that story, your story, is still unfolding. Choose how it ends. You are the one who sets the tone for every interaction, the one who decides whether old wounds reopen or begin to heal. This power, quiet yet immense, belongs to you alone. It is a sovereign right, not granted by birth, but claimed through conscious choice. The very act of choosing how you respond redefines your narrative, reshapes your destiny, and breaks the cycle that once bound you. Consider this. Every response you give to the echoes of your family's past is a moment of creation. It is a brushstroke on the canvas of your life, a brick laid in the foundation of your future. With each mindful choice, you build resilience where once there was pain, clarity where once there was confusion, and freedom where once there was captivity. This is the essence of transformation, not in changing others, but in changing yourself. Not in controlling what you cannot control, but in mastering how you allow those things to affect you. Nietzsche's proclamation rings true here. He who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow. Your why, your purpose, your vision, your commitment to yourself is the anchor that steadies you amidst the storms of family drama, expectation, and inherited pain. You will learn that detachment is not abandonment. It is the sacred space where self-preservation and compassion coexist. You can love without losing yourself. You can forgive without forgetting, and you can engage without being consumed. This balance is the hallmark of true strength and emotional sovereignty. As you step deeper into this way of being, you will notice a profound shift, not only within, but around you. Relationships that once felt suffocating may breathe freer. Interactions once filled with conflict may soften into understanding. And even when conflict arises, you will stand firm, unshaken by the chaos, grounded in the clarity of your own truth. You become a living example that legacy is not fate, but choice. That family patterns are not destiny, but stories waiting to be rewritten. That love is not possession, but freedom. That healing is not forgetting, but embracing with wisdom. In this journey, you will face resistance, old habits pulling you backward, voices from the past trying to reclaim their hold. But resilience is forged in these moments. The capacity to respond differently to meet old wounds with new strength is your greatest act of rebellion and liberation. Remember, every step you take toward mastery over your responses is a step toward mastering your life. It is the key that unlocks doors previously closed by fear, guilt, and obligation. It is the light that pierces the darkest shadows cast by ancestral pain. So claim this power now. Stand tall in the knowledge that while you cannot change your family, you hold the master key to change your experience of them. You hold the power to create boundaries that honor your growth. You hold the power to respond with wisdom, not reaction, with love, not resentment. This is your freedom. This is your sovereignty. And as you walk this path, you will realize something profound. In choosing how you respond, you not only change yourself, you change the very fabric of your family's story. You break cycles, you heal wounds, and you create a legacy of strength, clarity, and love that will echo through generations yet to come. This is your gift. This is your power. Embrace it. Live it. Because the way you respond shapes the life you live. And the life you live shapes the world around you. Choose your response. Choose your freedom. Choose your destiny. The choices you make today ripple far beyond the immediate moment. They echo through time, weaving a new pattern into the fabric of your family's legacy. Every act of conscious response is a thread, pulling apart the knots of old pain and stitching in hope, healing, and strength. You become not only the architect of your own life, but the catalyst for transformation in those who come after you. This transformation requires courage to stand firm when others expect you to conform, courage to hold your boundaries even when it isolates you, courage to forgive without forgetting, and to love without losing yourself. It demands an unshakable commitment to your own growth, a daily practice of self-awareness and intentionality. Each moment you pause before reacting, each breath you take to respond with clarity instead of impulse, is a victory won in the quiet war for your soul. The path is not linear, nor is it easy. You will encounter setbacks, moments of doubt, and the pull of old habits. But in those moments, remember, resilience is not about never falling. It is about rising each time, with more wisdom, more strength, more resolve. Your power lies not in perfection, but in persistence. As you embrace this truth, your inner world transforms. You begin to reclaim your energy, no longer drained by the drama, expectations, or judgments that once consumed you. Your mind sharpens, your heart opens. You cultivate a clarity that allows you to see your family not only as they are, but as fellow travelers, imperfect, wounded, yet capable of growth. From this place of power, you engage with compassion rather than codependence. You hold space for others without sacrificing your own well-being. You listen without losing your voice. You love without losing your boundaries. This is emotional sovereignty, freedom to be fully yourself in every relationship. And in living this way, you become a beacon. Your courage inspires others to face their own shadows, to take ownership of their responses, and to break their own cycles. Change becomes contagious, a wave that spreads beyond your immediate circle into the world. This is the profound truth. While you cannot change your family, you can change the legacy you leave. The old stories no longer define you. The power to respond with consciousness and love is the greatest inheritance you can pass on. So, as you move forward, carry this wisdom close. When triggered, pause and choose. When challenged, respond with strength. When hurt, heal with grace. You are not a victim of your past. You are the victor of your present. The family you come from may shape the soil, but you hold the seeds. What you nurture within yourself grows outward, bearing the fruits of freedom, peace, and authenticity. You have the power to change everything, not by changing them, but by changing yourself. And that is the greatest revolution there is. This is your life, your response, your power. Own it, live it, become it. The power To choose your response is the ultimate freedom. The freedom to rewrite the script, to redefine what family means, and to reclaim your peace. When you step into this power, you become unshakable. You are no longer tossed about by the storms of others' expectations or reactions. Instead, you stand firm, rooted in your own truth and clarity. This clarity is a light in the darkness, illuminating the path forward when confusion and pain threaten to overwhelm. It allows you to see beyond the immediate turmoil to the deeper purpose behind your struggles there. Opportunity for growth, for healing, for transformation. You begin to understand that your family, with all its complexities, is a mirror reflecting parts of yourself that are ready to be faced and integrated. With each conscious choice, you weave new patterns into your life. You break free from the scripts that once dictated your reactions. You cultivate compassion not just for others, but for yourself, for your imperfections, your wounds, and your journey. And in this compassion, you find strength. Strength to say no when boundaries are crossed. Strength to walk away when the environment no longer serves your growth. Strength to hold your ground in love and truth, even when it feels lonely. This strength is not about aggression or control. It is about sovereignty, sacred ownership of your emotional and mental landscape. As you embrace this sovereignty, your relationships evolve. They become spaces of authenticity rather than obligation, of connection rather than codependence. You engage not to fix or to be fixed, but to be fully present, whole, healed, and free. This transformation reverberates beyond your immediate family. It touches friends, partners, colleagues, and communities. Your example becomes a beacon, encouraging others to take responsibility for their own responses, to break their own cycles, and to live with greater consciousness. You begin to realize that true change does not come from trying to control others, but from mastering yourself. The family you came from may have shaped your early years, but it does not define your future. Your responses, your choices, and your inner work determine the life you create. So choose wisely, choose with intention, choose freedom. The legacy you leave is not one of inherited pain, but of courageous transformation. It is a story of a soul that refused to be limited by circumstance and chose instead to rise, to heal, and to lead. You cannot change your family, but you can change how you respond to them. And in that choice lies your greatest power. Own it, live it, become unstoppable. This is your story. This is your power. This is your life. Now, step into it fully. You are no longer bound by the old scripts written by others, no longer confined to roles assigned before you had a voice. Each response you give is an act of creation, deliberate, powerful stroke, painting the masterpiece of your life. With every conscious choice, you redraw the boundaries of your existence, transforming inherited pain into personal power, fear into courage, confusion into clarity. The shadows cast by your family's past will not vanish overnight, nor is that the goal. Instead, learn to walk with them aware, unafraid and undeterred. Accept that the past is part of your story, but refuse to let it dictate your destiny. Like the phoenix rising from ashes, you burn through the old, to emerge renewed, stronger, wiser. You will face resistance, not just from others, but from within. The familiar grip of old habits and reactions will tempt you to slip back into unconscious patterns. But every moment you choose awareness over reaction, presence over automatic response, you build resilience. You strengthen the muscles of your soul. Remember Nietzsche's words, one must still have chaos in oneself to be able to give birth to a dancing star. Within your inner turmoil lies the creative fire. Embrace it, harness it, let it fuel your transformation. Your family is a chapter, not the entire book. You are the author, the editor, and the illustrator of your narrative. Write with intention, paint with boldness, live with conviction. You can't change your family, but you can change how you respond to them. And that is the greatest freedom of all. Stand firm. Choose wisely. Live fully. Because your response shapes not only your life, but the legacy you leave behind. This is your moment. This is your power. This is your life. Own it. Build it. Become unstoppable. The path ahead is yours. To walk each step a declaration of independence from the patterns that once bound you. You carry within you the strength to meet old wounds, not with resistance, but with understanding, not with anger, but with compassion. In this transformation, you become both the healer and the architect, shaping a new reality where past pain no longer controls the present. Every moment offers a choice, to react from inherited fear or to respond with conscious power, to surrender to the weight of history or to rise above it with clarity and purpose. The power lies not in changing others, but in mastering your own mind, your own heart, your own soul. This mastery is the true revolution that begins within and radiates outward, altering not just your life, but the lives of those around you. Your presence becomes a beacon of resilience, your actions a blueprint for freedom. As you embrace this role, remember that perfection is not the goal. Growth is a continuous journey, a dance between light and shadow, struggle and triumph, surrender and control. Embrace the process. Honor your progress and forgive your setbacks. Your family's story is but one thread in the tapestry of your life. You hold the needle, you choose the colors, weave with intention, weave with courage, and weave with love. You cannot change your family, but you can change how you respond, and in that choice lies your liberation. Rise, respond, reclaim. You are the master of your destiny, the author of your story, and the architect of your freedom. This is your moment. This is your power. This is your life. Step into it fully. And now, as you stand at the threshold of your greatest choice, remember this: you are not bound by the past, nor limited by the stories already written. You hold the power to choose how you respond, how you move forward, and how you build your life. Do not let the shadows of old wounds hold you back. Do not let the voices of inherited limitations stop you from becoming the fullest expression of yourself. True power lies in how you face the world, in how you stand firm in the storm, anchored in your own truth. You cannot change your family, but you can change how you respond to them. And that is freedom not just for you, but for the generations that follow, so they no longer carry the invisible burdens you bravely lay down today. Step forward with courage, with resolve, and with a heart unbound. The life you deserve, the future you crave, is waiting for you to create it through the choices you make right now. You are the author of your own story. You are the architect of your destiny. And the journey to freedom begins here. Step into it.